Welcome. In this tutorial, I'm going to go over the project template and the CSS code that's in it. I put some extra things in the CSS code that you really don't need to worry about. So let me go over the actual template itself. You can see that I have a header set up for you with a graphic. I have a menu system set up, so you automatically have the links to some of them, but it also has the Hoover that's going to change colors, and you're welcome to change it to whatever colors you want. I left the link state just as is, but you're welcome to change that as well. In fact, I kind of encourage it. This really doesn't look that good. You can see that there's a white border between the menu system. Over here is a page header. Then you have two columns. I've written it so no matter how big one column is, the other column will be a matching height. So if you keep hitting enter, 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 you add all this text and you're all the way down here, this column should make the same height. So over here you have a heading that you can put in for each column. I put an image 180 by 180. I've given a template image over here. So each page should have its own image, at least one image, and the main page here should also have at least one picture, and I would suggest that you make it approximately 200 pixels wide, and you're going to apply a float right to it, so it'll be in here. Then you have on the bottom the footer. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to create the actual template from this. You're going to put in the information for your company's footer. Then you're going to update it, and it will actually create the pages from that. So let's just create a footer right over here. And let me get out of live code and in design. Now remember that when you go into design code, it doesn't look the same. So don't worry about that. So I'm going to type in here, put your company information here. And I'll just change this to put your address here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to save this file. And I'm going to click update. And eventually it will update. And then I'm going to create my index file. This is the very first file that you need to create. The About Us and the contact page is actually created. You just have to put information into it. So now we have an index. So let's go into the actual code itself. And you can see you have index over here. Now I have an extra index 1, so I'm going to change that back to the correct index. I can't do it now because we don't have an index file to create. Then you're going to choose About Us is here. Then you'll create your own links for page 3 and 4. And then contact. And notice the class no border because we didn't want the border, the white border over here. So the very first thing I'm going to do is create a new page from this template. And you can see it's already here. Click on create. And now we have something here that is untitled. The very first thing you should do is title your pages and then save them. Do that right away. Get that done. So I'm just going to put here my home page. And you would have it according to your company name. And then I'm going to save it. And I'm just going to call it index. And we're done. Now we'll go into live. And we have here, put your company here. So we created here. And I'm going to go back to the template. You will not have to do this because it's already done for you, but you will have to create the index file. And I'm going to change this. I'll just browse and click on index. And then I'm going to update. Make sure you choose update. and now we're done. So you can see, we'll go back into code. This is index. If we go into index and code there, you'll see it's indexed. Now notice, this is a different color. You're not going to have access to this because it's part of a template. You will have access to the column over here. You'll have access to the column over here, and you'll have access to change the page over here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually change. You will not have access to this, by the way. I'm going to change the information over here, column heading. But I'm going to do it in a template so that you understand the difference between changing a template in an editable region and a template in a non-editable region. Notice that the company name, I'm actually going to go into design just so you can see. You'll know it's non-editable for you if you have the not sign over here. Then we have the not sign. The page is editable over here. The column is editable. Both columns are editable, but the footer is not. So the first thing I'm going to do, again, whether or not you edit in live view or design view, it's your personal preference. I do both. I just like it easier in design view rather than double click and do all the things that you have to do in live view, but that's just a matter of my personal preference. So I'm going to type in here, welcome to my site. And I'll get rid of this here. I always, a little trick, I always click here and edit it the rest of it I'm doing over here, because if you click on here in front, it's very easy to go farther than you want to. So this one you have to. Now, could have very easily edited and deleted the H1 tag. So now we have this. We'll go back into design, and we'll save it here. And what you're going to do here is you're going to put a graphic of your own, 100 by 80 by 180. If you want to make your life easier, I will show you how to create that in another video and resize it if you don't have Photoshop. It's really very, very, very easy. So you're going to put all your information here. You're going to create 2 more pages, and you're going to call them whatever you want, and then you're going to link them through the hyperlinks. So let's go back into our project template. But I want you to look over here. See where it says put company name here, put your address. I'm just going to add the word here, and I'm going to make a change in an editable region, and you'll see that nothing will change. So let's go back to the template. First thing I'm going to do is I'll just take out this N here. And I'm going to put the word here afterwards. So we made 2 changes. One to a non-editable region, which is the footer, and one to an editable region. Then I'm going to save it. Of course, I got to update it. And let's go into index. Notice that the column 1 remained the same. The N is still there, but the footer changed. The reason for that is you do not want editable regions changing. You've already made changes on them. That's why they're editable. You do not want your changes being overwritten by the change in the template. So just bear that in mind. So you're going to create 2 more pages, and I'll show you. I'll just call it dummy page 1 or dummy page 2. Actually, I'll just call it link 3 and link 4. So what you'll need to do is go into the template, whatever your page name is, and maybe we'll just call it services. Now, what I recommend you doing is my little trick. If you click on this here, double click on it, however you do it, you may be getting more than you want. Or you can go into code view and edit it from here. So I'm going to do it in here, and I'm just going to call this services. I'll go back to design and notice that it's services, And I'll leave link 4 over here as it's alone. Going to save it. Click on update. And if we go back into index, it should show the new change, which it does. Unfortunately, it doesn't link to anything. So let's go back to the template, and we need to actually create a file, and we'll call it services. So we're going to create it. Now, you must save it in its own folder. So let's name it first. After we create the title, just put listing of services, and we'll save it. So I'm going to create a folder called Save Services, all lower cases. Everything is lowercase. Notice the templates is not, that's because it's created by Dreamweaver, and you're not going to actually link to the template page anyway. So it's no big deal. So now we're going to create a page called Services. Again, all lowercase. Go back to the template, and we're going to link to that page. We'll just browse right through it. Click on Services, click on OK, click on Save, and we're done. And that looks good. So let's go into Index. Let's go to Code. And let's go in and see if that updated. And there it is. And we'll go into Design and get back to Live. And you can see in here. So let's go over a little bit of the CSS. Everything that I've created is going to be in a project styles. What I recommend, anything that you do, put in the new styles. The reason being is if I make a change and put a new project styles, I don't want it to override something that you've done. So if you just put it in here, it's already linked for you. So let's go into Code, and you can see I've created all this for you. You do not have to do anything. You can change the background image if you want. I recommend just leaving it for your life. Make your life easier, but you don't have to leave it. You can create your own. Okay, again, I've taken care of the header for you. You don't need to do this. I put these in here before for demonstration purposes. Okay, the footer, we have the background color is that blue. The color is white. I want the text align center. And we have padding top and padding bottom over here. So let's go into Live. And the padding top and padding bottom shows up there. You can add a little bit more if you want to. That's totally up to you. Let's go back into Project Styles and Code. Okay, we've created a footer paragraph, and this will be white. The height of it, margin top, margin bottom. You don't really need to worry about anything. Okay, the container is a fixed width of 960. The margin left and the margin right auto are going to center it, and I put a border around it just to make it stand out. I changed it to double instead of solid. So you can see it stands out a little against this white background here. And I think the color works well with the blue over here and the white over here. Okay, you don't really need to worry about any of these other things I have in here. Okay, the font size for the NIM I've made 1.2 M. Text transform, I knew I can do this, is all uppercase. You can change that if you like. Okay, the width I have commented out. I did that for demonstration purposes before. And the background here I've commented out for demonstration. Make sure you have float none. And then we have margin of 20 pixels on the top and the bottom and left and right. That gives us a little bit of leeway up top here and on the bottom in there. Go back here. Okay, here is the unordered list. We've taken out the list style here, so there's no dots because it's an unordered list. I've given the width of the unordered list. I've done the margins for you. And then we have a margin left. I just put a little bit of spacing here. Padding, border radius, you don't really need to worry about any of this over here. A lot of these things that I have in here are for demonstration purposes so that you can see what different things do. Okay, again, we have the list item now. That's the home, about us, services. We have display block. That allows you, when you put your mouse over it, you don't have to be over a text in here. So the whole thing's counted as one. We have a border right of 2px. That's why you see this white border. It's solid. You can change the color to something different if you like. And then the background color over here, you can change it to whatever background color you want. Text decoration is none, so we got rid of the underlines for the hyperlinks. And again, the padding in top gives us a little bit of space on the top and the bottom to make it look a little bit nicer. And all these things here are for you. Now, the color here, you can change the colors to whatever you want. For the Hoover, I've changed the color to white of the text and the background to black. You can change these to whatever colors you want. Just make sure they go in here. Don't worry about this row that I've created and the class. That is what's going to make it appear equal lengths and their equal heights. And you don't need to worry about any of this stuff over here. This column center here I put in for you guys just so you have a little border over here to make it look a little nicer. And that's all you need to do. And don't worry about any of this other stuff. So that's easy. You can change your footer to whatever you want. You can change the headers, whatever you want, the columns to whatever you want. If you need help with it, I'm only an email or a session away. So that's really all you need to do. Just make sure you follow the guidelines of the project as I put in it, and let me know if you need any help. My sessions are going to be devoted strictly to your web page project, so if you have any problems, please feel free to address them. I will not be learning or teaching you any extra new content unless there's something specific that you want to know. I'll be spending the entire time demonstrating, showing you, and helping you with that. I will also hold one more live session probably next week. Next Saturday won't be this Saturday, and for anybody that wants to come in the afternoon on Saturday. So I have a mass to attend in the morning, but after that I'll be free most of the afternoon. So plan on being here around 1 o'clock. You can come at 1, and then I can help you with whatever that you need to do. So that's all for this video. Please let me know if you need anything, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Have a great day.